Thank you so much for making all my days sunny and warm. Te amo muchísimo.
So the big day has finally come. It's been years in the making. We've sat through argument after argument, tears upon tears, and proposal after proposal. But will marriage really be the end of all of Gino and Jasmine's problems? Because I don't think so.
That you are now husband and wife, and you may seal your vows with a kiss. Yay!
Now, before we get to the big moment, and no, I'm not talking about Gino's hair reveal, let's rewind to the start of this episode. So, the last time we saw Gino and Jasmine, they were actually in a really strong spot. Jasmine had begun opening up to Gino's family. She was showing them her more vulnerable side. In fact, it seemed to work wonders. It seemed that her real emotions had won them over. And just in time. Because today is Gino and Jasmine's big day. They're finally getting married.
Today is our wedding day. Woo! Finally. It took us 18 months to get through the K-1 visa process, and we've known each other for 3 years, so finally our day is here.
These two really have been waiting a very long time for this day. And for a while there, especially during those tense K-1 visa days, I think we were all doubting whether or not this wedding would actually go ahead. But one thing we've all learnt by now is to never bet against Gino and Jasmine, because despite all logic, somehow they always manage to bounce back.
But it's real, and she's going to be my wife, and we're all going to be together as a family, enjoying the day, and it's going to be so wonderful.
This is Gino's perfect scenario. Not only has Jasmine managed to make amends with his family, but they also seem to have made a genuine connection. So that means they can all today celebrate together. No awkwardness, no animosity. And after Gino carefully deliberates on which of his 2 identical hats he should wear for today's ceremony, we join him as he greets his family in the house and reveals some really big news.
I'm so happy because my Uncle Marco offered to walk Jasmine down the aisle today just to give her a little extra support.
What a nice move by Uncle Marco. He's trying to make Jasmine feel loved and included on her big day, which, considering he wasn't her biggest fan to begin with, seems like a nice gesture. He's trying to play his part. Now, Uncle Marco asks Gino if he's nervous, which of course he is, it's his wedding day. So he tries to impart some words of wisdom, some wishful words of wisdom. He tells Gino that everything will be alright as long as he and Jasmine just love each other. And with that, the pair rejoin the rest of the family downstairs.
I didn't agree with it in the beginning. I thought they were nuts. But now that I meet her and I've seen how much she loves him and her heart,
Uncle Marco reveals that he now feels really good about this wedding after getting to know Jasmine. So speaking of Jasmine, what's she up to? Well, she's begun getting ready on the other side of town. You see, the pair are choosing to follow the tradition where the bride and groom won't see each other until the bride is walking down the aisle. And ahead of her big day, as her veil is being put on, Jasmine is really starting to feel the excitement.
Do you feel like a bride?
Gosh, I really want to listen to his vows.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
Gino is special, you know?
As her hairdresser asks her whether or not she thinks Gino is going to cry, Jasmine says she's not sure because Gino apparently isn't as much of a crybaby as she is. But I'm not so sure, that remains to be seen. Now, as Gino enjoys his last few hours as a bachelor, his last few hours as a free man, surrounded by his closest friends and family, by comparison, Jasmine is really beginning to miss hers. As she gets ready alone, the great void where her kids, her friends and her family should be becomes very apparent.
I miss my sister. I want to call her.
Okay.
Te
te ves lindo, niño, me encanta y me fascina cómo te cae atrás.
Her sister's support clearly means the world to Jasmine. Now, whether it's her sister's message or just the emotion and nerves of the day, it all becomes too much for Jasmine. She begins to cry. Like, we all know how tough Jasmine has found it, knowing that her family won't be at her wedding. So now that the big day has finally come, the reality of the situation is hitting her hard.
Y también ando con un vestido rojo porque rojo era lo que me iba a poner si iba a ser tu dama de honor.
Niña, tú eres mi dama de honor, niña.
Yo lo sé.
Now, in a very sisterly move, she tells Jasmine to stop crying or her eyes will get puffy. That is enough to immediately snap Jasmine out of it. I mean, puffy eyes on her wedding day are a very big issue. So the sisters say their goodbyes, and Jasmine knows that she needs to get it together. She needs to try and enjoy her day. And it's Gino's cousin's wife, Michelle, who accompanies Jasmine to the wedding venue. It's there that Jasmine will get into her dress.
How do you feel?
Beautiful. And happy.
Good. You look beautiful and happy.
I am.
I'm happy for
Thank
you.
you, Missy. Thank you.
You're welcome. The last thing we have is the veil.
And even after getting into her dress, Jasmine's family are clearly still on her mind. She asks Michelle to take some photos of her so that she can send them to her mum. But this is the last little cry that Jasmine will have about her family in Panama, because she vows that after sending this photo, she's now gonna focus on enjoying her big day. She's gonna focus on the positives instead of the negatives for once.
It is important for me to put myself together because Gino deserves to see a happy bride. He has worked so hard for our relationship.
Look, it's really good to see that Jasmine is finally able to set aside her own emotions and consider those of her husband-to-be. She doesn't want to tarnish his big day with her feelings of sadness. But has Gino got the same consideration for her? Well, as the garden ceremony gets set up, we learn that Gino has connected both of Jasmine's sisters and her mum through an online video call so that they too can witness the ceremony, so that they can be there in whatever way they can.
¿Cómo estás?
¡Oh,
Guapo, Gino.
¡Qué guapo!
Oh, gracias.
Wow.
Now, in all likelihood, this is probably the first time Jasmine's family have seen Gino not wearing one of his terrible shirts. It must come as a shock to them to know that he can actually scrub up quite well. And importantly, this wedding is actually becoming a beautiful blend of both families. Gino is joking and laughing around with Jasmine's sisters, and Uncle Marco arrives at Jasmine's room to walk her down the aisle.
I want you to know that I am so happy today because you're here and I feel so honored. It was always my concern, like not having a father figure to walk me to the altar.
We all know that Jasmine's father has a lot to answer for. She's told us numerous times that it's because of her dad that Jasmine struggles with self-esteem and abandonment issues. But hopefully, with the addition of Gino's family, with the likes of Uncle Marco now in her corner, perhaps some of Jasmine's wounds might now begin to heal. In fact, as Uncle Marco sheds a tear, we can all see just how much Jasmine's speech means to him.
And I will remember this as one of my most happiest memories.
That's so great, honey. Oh my goodness. That's so great.
If for some reason Jasmine still didn't understand just how important the family unit is for Gino's family, hopefully seeing Uncle Marco like this can eliminate any of her doubts. For so long, it really did seem like Jasmine was determined to tear Gino away from his family. But it's just really nice today watching Jasmine connect with Uncle Marco in such a loving way. Jasmine's gaining not only a brand new family, but in Uncle Marco, she may also be gaining the father figure she never had.
That's the way I want to see him. Like I never had that feeling of love and protection from my dad. And I am so happy. He's the best.
And with that beautifully emotional scene out of the way, it's now finally time. This whole chapter of will they won't they can now be finally put to rest. Jasmine is now gonna marry her gringo bonito, Gino. It's taken a hell of a lot to get to this point. Many of us never thought this day would come. I mean, 3 wedding proposals, 2 rings, a secret butt surgery and a heart-stopping tube of lip gloss later, and here we are. Everything has led to this moment. So what does Gino have to say as the love of his life walks down the aisle?
Wow.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Gino's reaction, his wow, really shows how he feels he's the luckiest man in the world. He clearly feels that the extra second round of money spent on her wedding dress was worth it. And Jasmine is happy too. In fact, when she notices that her family are joining live on a video call, it really seems to make her day. She's delighted with this. So all that now remains to be seen is whether or not Gino will be able to make it through his vows without crying.
Thank you so much for making all my days sunny and warm. Te amo muchísimo.
Now, I understand that this is a really beautiful moment, right? But I need to point something out. Tell me, in what world exactly has Jasmine made all of Gino's days sunny and warm? Let's be real here, guys. Jasmine's made Gino more miserable than she has happy. But hey, all is apparently forgiven and forgotten. And now it's time for Jasmine's vows.
There are 2 most important days in a person's life. The day they are born and the day they discover why.
Gino, she says, you are my why. And it's a beautifully romantic statement. She goes on to tell Gino that his unconditional love has saved her in so many ways. He's the only man she'd ever move across the earth for. And she has. Why? Because he is home. And it's all, again, so nice. When she wants to, Jasmine clearly has a way with words. And as they both say their I do's, it all becomes official. They are now officially husband and wife.
That you are now husband and wife, and you may seal your vows with a kiss. Yay! Gino!
Congratulations, guys! You got there in the end. Now, Gino can barely contain his excitement as he goes in for a kiss. So now that they're married, now that they're bound to each other till death do them part, with, by the way, no prenup in place, will this be a complete disaster, or will they end up surprising us all?
We did it!
We did it!
And now they're together for an eternity.
Yeah.
Was it just me, or did Gino appear to have a real moment of panic behind his eyes when Jasmine said eternity? So, as the wedding party heads indoors for their meal, Jasmine and Gino have one last announcement to make.
We have one more announcement to make, right, Jasmine?
Yes. We're gonna start making a baby. Not right now. But I mean...
What? They're actually gonna start trying for a baby? Wow. Like, we all know Jasmine's complicated feelings about having another child. She was very open about her fears and concerns. Her concerns that any future child she might have may also have special needs, like her youngest son. But, for as much as we doubt them, it would be a lie if we said that Gino and Jasmine's relationship hasn't improved leaps and bounds this season. Sure, that's not to say that they don't have their challenges, but they are in a better place. I mean, just look at what Gino's willing to do for his wife.
If there was any chance to take a picture without the hat, now that we...
No.
He took his hat off because Jasmine said it would mean a lot to her. Wow. I mean, if that isn't love, then I don't know what is. All I can say for now is congratulations to the newlyweds. I, for one, can't wait to see what drama will unfold in the future. And yes, we all know there will be drama in the future.